Behind me is a Ferrari 575M, and it sits at a very interesting time right now because they are, in certain circumstances, higher mileage examples going for less than $100,000 USD. Now, a few months ago, I drove a couple of V12 cars that were kind of perfect if you wanted the ultimate front engine, naturally aspirated V12 experience. I'm still gonna say the DB7 V12 Vantage is that car. You can pick them up for $30,000 or $40,000. But what I'm hoping for with the 575M is a little bit of a sharper experience, something special that Aston doesn't have. Is it worth it to pick one of these up before they potentially go up in value? And also, is it time to manual swap them? But it is incredibly cold out. Let's go for a drive. The ETC talking to us right there. We're not in Canada right now. We're not even in the United States of America. We're here in Japan, not our usual filming location. We're gonna do a bunch of videos, so stay tuned for those videos. But this is a Ferrari 575 Maranello. The follow-up to the 550. Under the hood, of course, is a 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V12. That's the first thing that makes this car incredibly valuable and special. And the follow-up to this was, of course, the 599. Those are about at least $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 more than these. Now, I think those cars look pretty cool. The road presence of a 599 is far and away more impressive, in my opinion, than a 575 Maranello. But these are just kind of in that analog sweet spot where there's not so much technology to go wrong, but at the same time, we still have enough of the modern conveniences. I mean, it's comfortable. We have adaptive suspension, electronically controlled adaptive hydraulic suspension, and this one's been equipped with a Fiorano handling package, which attempted to push it further from the softer and aging Grand Touring crowd, but closer to the new money that might actually throw around the weight of that V12. There's a thicker rear anti-roll bar, stiffer lowering springs, revised ECU tuning for that suspension and steering, but also extra bite from the brake pads too. Oh, that's a slow gearbox. I was not expecting much more though. And that's the uncomfortable anchor holding this car down. Its automated single clutch gearbox. The older and less powerful 550M was available exclusively with a 6-speed manual, so as you'd expect, they're quite a bit more valuable in the used market. As you guys probably know, it's effectively a manual transmission. All of these cars have the same transmission. It's just a hydraulic system, an automated system that we can control with the paddle shifters here. Now I have to figure out, okay, we're just gonna keep going straight. The thing about driving here in Japan, you guys, is if you don't have anybody with you who can read Japanese, you're pretty much in the dark, unless you have, obviously, I don't know, technology, Google Maps open, then it becomes easier, but maybe don't try to do a car review as soon as you land in Japan. All right, let's see what she can do. 507 horsepower. Oh, yeah, it is cold out. The rear end stepped out there. This car is not slow. By modern standards, it doesn't have that punch that the F12 has. I mean, I was about to say no, but it does. This is a fast car any way you spin it. And yeah, the peak power is way up there, just past 7,000 RPM. This is legitimately quick. This is way quicker than I was expecting. And this car weighs about 3,800 pounds. So in modern context, that's light. That is lighter than a brand new 992 Turbo S. The most rewarding part of, let's say, an E92 M3 or GT3 RS is there's a pot of gold somewhere up near redline you're constantly chasing to feel peak power. Those cars have K-car engines compared to a 5.7 liter V12, so this extra displacement just gives you a huge shove of torque anytime you get close to the throttle, but still leaves some gold shavings up top. The best of both worlds. Throttle response is immediate. There's not that like really old school kind of cable throttle feeling coming through the pedal. It's not needed though. It's incredibly refined, and the steering, hydraulic power steering, of course, not as sharp as an F12. The F12 in some circumstances it takes a lot of mental capacity and focus to drive, even at low speeds, because the steering is so twitchy and that engine just wants to jump out of its skin. But here, all right, the shifts get a little bit quicker the quicker you go, but one thing I will note, and Keenan, the owner of this car, will be the first to tell you this, is that he needs an exhaust on this car. The 575 requires an exhaust to really extract the best that this engine has to offer. It's not like incredibly cushy. I was expecting, hold on. Even with the Fiorano handling package, it's quiet, it's comfortable. These seats are amazing. They've got a ton of lumbar. There are two sides to the value of this car though. So one thing working for this car's value and why it might begin to go up in value and be unattainable in the future is because they only made just over 2,000 of them, and the vast majority, were obviously this automatic single clutch transmission. I've got different numbers when I tried to figure out how many manuals they made, how many manual 575s they made, but it's around 200. So incredibly rare to find. And on the other hand, 550s go for at least $50, $60, sometimes $70,000 more than a 575. So my question is, would it not be advantageous and economically smart, wise, to just buy a 575 with an updated adaptive suspension setup and a few other creature comforts, updated interior steering wheel, and then just buy a manual transmission and do a manual swap? So the other argument is you can buy a already swapped 575M for less than an automatic 599 for $80,000 less than an automatic 599 in some cases. That is a no-brainer, especially if you're a purist, not a purist, but if you're a driver that has to have a manual transmission. The 599, the car that came after this, is kind of the last car that you could realistically perform a manual swap on. I don't know about you guys. I don't hear anybody talking about trying a manual swap on an F12 or an A12. It just seems a little bit too complicated. I'm sure someone could do it. Maybe this is a challenge for somebody crazy enough out there, but it's like an Aventador. I don't really see people talking about wanting to manual swap those cars. When it comes to design, I also think the 550 and the 575 sit in a perfect moment. Obviously, Pininfarina design. The earlier cars before this, like Testarossa, 512 TR, and at the end of the lineup, I believe it was at the end of the lineup, the 512M, just a brutal looking car because it had the quintessential kind of iconic old school 80s design of the Testarossa, but then on the front end, it had headlights very similar to this, which just, it's a cringe-worthy car to look at now, and I don't think those cars have aged very well. And then after, okay, what did we get? We got the 612, which, okay, from the rear end, it's okay to look at, but that is not a pretty car in my opinion at all. So here we have sweet spot in the middle, 575M. From a proportions perspective, the 599 is about 4.5 inches longer than this car, but it is actually about 80 or 90 pounds lighter. But this is still like a narrow car, easy car to drive, daily drivable, 100%. Oh, reverse is over here, of course. Oh, you pull it. I'm such a Ferrari noob. This is interesting because this is very different. And I was expecting this, but not to this extent. The steering is so different from an F12. The F12, you can steer that car with 2 fingers all day long. At low speeds, this is not the experience I'm getting here. It's got very unassisted-like steering. Everything is coming through the steering, every little imperfection in the road. This feels like really good, almost peak hydraulic power steering here. At the very least, I can feel exactly when the rear is about to step out, and it doesn't feel like at any point it's gonna get away from me. There's a rev match, okay. Those rev matches are actually really good. I was expecting really lazy rev matches. That's not the case. Oh, this guy wants me to pass him on a blind hill. Dude, I'm good. Oh my. Brake pedal, firm, short travel. Yeah, the rev matches actually get really good once you stick it in sport. Surprising amount of front end feel through the steering. It just wants to turn. The second you get on the throttle, it wants to rotate more. See there, it's so natural and smooth in the way it loses traction. You know, the heavier a car gets, the bigger the car gets, generally, without, you know, hybrid assist, torque vectoring stuff, modern stuff like that, making it feel like a smaller car, generally, you get just a more numb experience, but whew, it's good. It's really good. On a tight road like this, it would be a lot of work to be rowing through a 6-speed gated shift box. Okay, I get it now. No, I get it. It's way sharper than a DB7. I would not be driving a DB7 nearly this quick on a cold day like today. It just had like a layer between you and the chassis. But here, feels like I'm sitting in the car, you know, down as low as I can go. And I love the DB7 Vantage, but it serves a different purpose. It just needs noise. That's all this car needs, is noise and a manual transmission. Game over, done. That is a forever car. That's what this could be.
Yeah, V12. It's always been the dream to have a V12, and this was kind of a stepping stone for me, because the plan in the future is to eventually get an F12. Not gonna sell this, but the F12 is definitely the dream. And growing up, I really liked the Testarossa and everything, but as you get older and you start doing research and you find out about things, you find out about the engine drop service. That's about 15 to 20 grand, depending on where you take it. And I picked the front engine V12 because I just like the design. You know, it's a lot more reliable.
So I think you got into this market probably at a really good time for a long time. Ooh, is that a Tommy Mäkinen Evo 6? Looks like it might be. Oh my.
Oh my God.
Dude, Japan is literally what you think of it. Everything you think Japan is gonna be, it just is that.
Yeah, times 10.
That was insane. I'm okay with a video interruption like that. What?
Yeah, I saw the TME come in and immediately forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, the 599 was only 15 grand more expensive than this car. So they're very, very close in price.
Yeah.
But now that's not the case anymore. The 599 has now put the gap on this thing. So,
well, and that's kind of an argument you can make. Would you rather buy one of these and spend, maybe it's 40, maybe it's 50K to manual swap it for less than you could buy a 5994.
Yeah,
which is still
exactly.
automatic.
Exactly, because I got a quote from the guys out in Texas who specialize in manual swaps on these, and it's about like 25.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's about 25 for the parts and everything, and for them to actually do the labor and to do the flash and everything, it's like right at 32. So,
are you considering in the future manual swapping this?
yeah, absolutely. The reason being is just because, like, when you drive it, it feels like somebody who's never driven manual before, and you're kind of along for the ride. And then at high speeds, when you put your foot down, it shifts very slowly. There's no way I'd pay more than 140 for one of these.
Okay.
140 would be the top ceiling for me.
Yeah.
But it's kind of easy for me to say that now. You have to be very, very careful with exotic cars and getting low mileage examples, because these cars sit in collections, don't move for years upon years, and a lot of the times stuff goes wrong. Things dry rot. You know, the transmission is hydraulic based. It has to be running pressure in order to be maintained and to work properly. When they just sit for a long period of time, stuff goes wrong. And that's exactly what happened when I bought this. I bought it and I had it for 3 weeks, and then the entire F1 system needed to be replaced. So,
did you get stranded or?
Yes, I did actually.
Oh,
yeah.
oof.
This is only the 3rd car that I've ever driven in my entire life that's left me stranded. So,
We'll insert the clip of it on a flatbed right here.
yeah, there it is. So yeah, that was not a fun time. We replaced the pump and the full actuator itself, and now she's all good to go. Everything is perfect. So I'm gonna drive it and enjoy the F1 system for a while, and then just go into the manual swap from there. But don't be afraid of cars that have been used. Cars that have been used, I guarantee you, will give you less problems than cars that haven't.
Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate you coming out.
So 575M, when this car came out, it disrupted the status quo. This was at a time, an awkward time between manual transmissions and of course the dual clutches that followed, that refined everything and made supercars so easy to drive, right? So the status quo was the manual transmission. And the F1 in this car disrupted that. And of course, most people who bought these opted for the automatic because it was new, it was something novel, and it was gonna make the car theoretically faster to drive, right? Now, the status quo has changed again, because if Ferrari were to make a manual transmission, naturally aspirated V12, wow, would people pay for that? Disrupting a manual today is what I'm saying, would disrupt the status quo of a boring dual clutch, right? It's worth it to me. It would be worth it to buy one of these cars under $120,000 US if you had the ambition to manual swap it, or if you just want a good, comfortable daily driver GT and you won't settle for anything less than a naturally aspirated V12. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks Keenan for the seat time. If you guys want, go follow Keenan. Stick around because we're going to be driving his Supra pretty soon. See you guys then.